I'd like to welcome everyone to this event, the Digital Transformation and Investor Summit, which is a pre-event of our annual conference, the Startup South Conference, which is now in the 8th edition. Why are we here, and who is Startup South? First, I'd like to say thank you for honoring our invitation to come, and for sparing us part of your holiday today to be here. Why are we here, and what is Startup South? First, we're here because we are part of this region. We're part of this country called Nigeria, and I believe that everything that happens in this country, one way or the other, affects us, especially economically. A lot of us here today are captains of industries, CEOs, business executives that we have invited, and I know that some more are also coming. We made this invitation because, as a community, Startup South, first and foremost, is a startup ecosystem development and advocacy organization that has been inspiring for over 8 years, has inspired and continue to inspire founders building high-scale ventures in Nigeria with special focus on the South and the Southeast. When the MC talked about, the MC talked a lot about Twitter and Elon Musk and all of that stuff. The challenge is a lot of people look at, because he said the Blue app. He said the owner of the Blue app. But what he probably didn't mention, which perhaps is hidden in plain sight, is that the Blue app was bought by him for almost $40 billion. I don't know if all of us followed that. It means that there is wealth and opportunity within that space, the digital economy. So Startup South, when I talk about startup, I'm essentially talking about people leveraging innovation through the digital economy to create opportunities and wealth. We are used to a certain type of business, but a lot is changing. A lot is changing in our world. It is easy for people to say, like some of the conversations I had while we're preparing for this event, somebody says, you know what, I can't be talking about digital transformation, or I cannot come and listen to digital transformation because I'm busy. The challenge is people think some of these things you're talking about, it's in the future or it's happening in other places. It's going to take a while before it gets to us. What we don't realize is we are now a globalized village, right? So if we don't get involved, like I would tell some of my friends, we would have a second colonization, and this is going to be worse than the first colonization. Why do I say so? The business landscape is changing. The way people do business is changing, but we're still stuck in the way they used to. By the way, we borrowed the way we currently do the business also from them. The people who gave us that way of doing business has moved on to other ways of doing business, but we're still stuck in the way they gave to us, right? The implication of that, there's an implication of that, and that implication is that we are going to have, because they're also wise. So investors, so there are opportunities growing even within our space. Some people are positioning for those opportunities, for they are coming in with their money as investors to own those opportunities. right? Now that's what's going on. So we think that it's important that we understand what's happening and be part of it. So Startup South is inspiring a community of people who are leveraging these opportunities we're talking about. But you cannot build a startup community and ecosystem without people who are already in the business space. So which is why we've invited most of you top CEOs to come to understand what we're doing and also understand how this affects your business so that you can be part of this whole process. We organize events on an annual basis, like I mentioned, just to bring people together. We have startups across the region and even across Nigeria who come to those events. If we're going to build a sustainable ecosystem, some of you who have the experience who is to be part of that group, either as mentors, either as investors, mentors, or even as some of you could actually become founders, right? Because let's look at it. In corporate innovation sustainability for even the business you currently do requires that you continue to innovate your process. This is why big organizations set up R&D, research and development arms, right? But because of the costs involved, a lot of organizations, especially in Nigeria, don't get involved in R&D. You can leverage the startup ecosystem as an R&D center for your business. So that's why I say some of you could actually become founders or co-founders, because you could look at what people are doing in the ecosystem and say, oh, I'm feeding to what I'm doing, or there is opportunity for me to take leverages as part of my business. And so I want to get involved in it. And by getting involved, you seamlessly have become, you've basically developed your own R&D arm by leveraging existing startups, basically. And so these are some of the opportunities that are in the ecosystem that we think that most of you may need to, engage with and get to understand. So in the course of this meeting today, you're going to be hearing a lot more about the digital ecosystem, for opportunities for digital transformation. And of course, you're going to be also listening to some of the startups in the ecosystem and see what some of them are doing, okay? And see how some of them possibly could be disrupting your current business and you don't know, right? So getting involved in the space means that you can be part of your own disruption. And if you're part of your own disruption, I believe you know that it's only going to get better. It's not going to lead to the death of your business because you're part of the disruption, right? So this is basically us saying, hey, come and engage with this ecosystem and to know what's happening in the ecosystem. And by extension, we're saying, hey, we've lined up some great speakers who are going to expose us to most of this conversation, but there is so much more to happen because we have throughout the year we have different events coming up. So some of you can also leverage as part of your to deepen your engagement a lot more. So in June we have the Hospitality and Tourism Technology Summit coming up in Owerri, and in July we have the Education, Health and Consumer Technology Summit in Enugu, and then back here in Port Harcourt on October 5th and 6th, we're going to be bringing everybody from across the globe to Port Harcourt to have 2 days of conversations around the digital economy and the creative economy. I'd like to say welcome once more to everyone, and thank you for coming.